How you doing, good people? This is the 8-Bit Animal. And right now I'm joined by the other primary contributor to 8-Bit to the Digitized Ramblings of an 8-Bit Animal, the homie Lou.
What's going on, y'all? Happy holidays.
Yeah, so today it's the end of 2013, and we decided that we're going to get together and talk about some of the really cool stuff that we played this year, and some of the bigger game stories that we talked about in 2013. So, for better or for worse, whether you like it or not, this is the 8bitanimal.com year in review.
Yes.
All right. So, where do you want to start, Lou?
Well, after starting off looking at the list, did you play Retro City Rampage?
I love Retro City Rampage. Retro City Rampage is one of those really cool titles that felt like it was an open world game, and it felt like the original GTAs. And I love GTA 1, 2, and GTA.
You talking about London?
At London 1969. I love the top-down GTAs so much more than I love the 3D GTAs when they transitioned with Grand Theft Auto 3. And I know a lot of modern gamers don't share that opinion, but I absolutely love the older GTAs. So when Retro City Rampage came out, I absolutely loved it. I picked it up. It's right after I played the demo, and I have loved it from here on out.
All right. Well,
what you gotta say?
I can agree with you about the whole loving the top-down GTA. That's how I got into the whole GTA franchise off the first 3 games with the top-down look. Now, granted, was it the most conventional as when you look at it now? No.
Yeah.
But at the time, it was revolutionary when it came to games. Nobody had an open world game at the time. I think I still have the first 2 on I think it was PlayStation 1 they came out on.
Yeah.
Still got both the first 2. Now, I personally am a fan of the newer.
And I am too. I just, it's just something in my heart that kind of reaches out to the older games in the franchise.
I understand. Trust me, I understand. But Retro City Rampage, a game that I have not played yet, but I want to play.
You should really play it.
But
you will love that game.
While we're talking about it, I'm looking at the list. Next game is a game I played. DMC, Devil May Cry.
I love DMC.
Reboot of the franchise. Now, DMC, basically, everybody knows Devil May Cry. It's a game that came out on PlayStation 2 with Devil May. It was a
PS2 exclusive franchise.
I figured so. Yeah. First one, great game. Second one, a lot of fans were kind of
terrible game.
Now, I'm not gonna say that. I
hated the second game.
I've only played an hour into the game, didn't really care for it. So instead of me posting saying I didn't like it, I'm just gonna say that I'm gonna leave it up to everybody else. If you care for it, you care for it. If you didn't, you didn't. The third one, awesome title.
Awesome title. Old school hard, you hear me?
The fourth one, Devil May Cry 4 with Neo. I think it was Nero. The fourth one, I saw making that the prime mistake that most franchises make when it comes to multiple games coming out. It's not a bad game, but you've been there, done that.
Stagnation.
DMC, I would say any Devil May Cry fan, anybody who's been a fan of the Dante series, pick it up. It's a complete reboot, and a lot of people are a little scared about it, but it did it the right way. Ninja Theory picked the game up, the same people that made the new Ninja Gaiden games.
And Heavenly Sword. Wait, no. That was Team Ninja. Ninja Theory
Team Ninja's on that too, I'm sorry.
Team Ninja did the Ninja Gaiden games. Ninja Theory did Heavenly Sword and Enslaved.
So I got Ninja Theory and Team Ninja.
Yeah, you got them confused. Right quick.
You know what?
But that's fine because they're both really good developers, and Ninja Theory did a bang up job with this DMC title. It plays off of a lot of conventions in that original trilogy, because I really, 4 was okay, but 4 4 by far was probably the second worst title in the series.
Behind 2?
Behind 2, yeah. Because 2 was... 2 made my heart hurt.
You know what? You saying Team Ninja or Ninja Theory did that?
Ninja Theory did DMC.
Okay. Well, I apologize. I had to check. And we checked, of course, with
we fact checking over here.
With our nice Nexus 7.
We fact checking over here.
We want to make sure. But anybody. I was like I said, when the game was first announced, I was a little skeptical at first.
I think we all were.
But being the fact that I was a fan of the series, I picked the game up day one. No problem. I pre-ordered. Was not disappointed at all. Not at all. Not the way that they did Dante. Not the way they did his brother Virgil. None of that. None of that stuff made me feel like I was being cheated. You played it as well.
And I'm gonna be honest. When I played the demo, I wasn't impressed. I was actually a little nervous about the franchise, but once I got to play the final product, I was actually pretty impressed with the final product because the concerns I had were with the fact that you did so much with the shoulder buttons, especially on the Xbox 360 version, because I think we both played it on the Xbox 360 version.
You should shoulder, not the triggers.
The triggers and the trigger buttons.
The
modifiers.
The triggers was the one that modified the angel and double.
Yeah,
weapons.
The jumps and all that, and that really made me nervous. But in the end, it ended up impressing me because I was really impressed by how polished everything turned out to be. Ninja Theory, like I said before, they did.
I'm not surprised about the developers being a polished game.
Ninja Theory did a great job. They've shown a progression throughout their timeline from Heavenly Sword, between the 3 or 4 games that I've played from them, Heavenly Sword, Enslaved, and now Devil May Cry, DMC. They've always shown some growth. So with this title, I'm definitely impressed with.
And also don't forget that the game was actually pushed back to the following year. Like, this game was supposed to come out in 2012, but because Ninja Theory believed that the game needed more time to be all the bugs worked out, they pushed back to 2013, which at first I wasn't happy, but hey, it proved to be the right decision. So
it really did.
None of us can't say anything about it.
Yeah.
Next game I'm looking at this list. Did you get a chance to play Dead Space 3?
I did not.
I didn't either. Did not. I've heard mixed reviews about Dead Space 3.
Yeah, and I mean, some people loved it, some people hated it. And since neither one of us played it, we can't really comment on it. But did Visceral handle the development on Dead Space 3? Do you know?
And we can find out right now. Be on the safe side.
Yeah, let's just be safe.
Yes, they did.
Visceral handled it.
Publisher was EA.
If Visceral handled the development on that game, especially after I went back this year and finally got a chance to dig my teeth into Dante's Inferno, and after my experiences with the earlier Dead Space titles, I'm pretty confident that while it wasn't the perfect title that everybody wanted from Visceral, I'm pretty sure it wasn't a terrible game.
Now, I gotta say one thing. I've never heard it. I never played the game, but I've heard enough chatter from people. And when I say a lot of people loved it and hated it, the biggest gripe a lot of people had was the fact that it wasn't as scary as the previous.
Yeah, I've heard that also. Like, there wasn't that sense of claustrophobia that you got from the first 2 days.
And also, a lot of people didn't really care for the co-op aspect, where you had to have a secondary player playing along with you. It took away from that whole tension moment when you're playing by yourself.
And that's like one of those things that make survival horror games really good. Like, you have that sense of isolation.
I disagree.
Well, I mean, look at the older Resident Evil titles, the ones that we kind of grew into, the first 2.
But to disagree with that, look at the Left 4 Dead series.
That's true, but the Left 4 Dead series was less a survival horror, and more first-person shooter.
It was a first-person shooter, but it was still survival.
Like how skimpy was the ammo on that thing?
And the thing is, and we're off topic. I mean, Left 4 Dead came out 2011, but I can't remember. It's been a minute since I played it, but I'm not sure how
scarce the ammo was on, and that's valid. But that I really think that people kind of gravitated towards Dead Space because it was a survival horror game. It was one of those things that kind of gave you a sense of isolation, a sense of foreboding. So hopefully, like I said, neither one of us played Dead Space 3, so
we can't really
comment on it, and we won't comment on it because we're not out here trying to vilify Visceral in their work.
But I will give a quick rest in peace to a game that nobody really cared for. Aliens Colonial Marine.
Man, look.
all I'm gonna say is
that game was so bad.
And that's all I gotta say. Next, moving on. As I look at this list right now, another game that I played, we both played.
BioShock Infinite.
It's a little bit later. I'm in February right now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Metal Gear Rising Revengeance.
I like Metal Gear Rising.
I loved Metal Gear Rising Revengeance.
I did too because a lot of folks kind of had harsh words for Metal Gear Rising. And their problem was that it wasn't a traditional Metal Gear game.
But in that word, the thing I look at it, the original Metal Gear, the sneaky Metal Gear games were called Metal Gear Solid.
There were Metal Gear and Metal Gear Solid.
And this game is Metal Gear Rising, which takes a different approach to the game altogether, which I'm not mad about. Now, I do say it was called, initially I think it was called Metal Gear Solid Raiden's Revengeance or some crap.
I don't remember.
It was some weird name. Now, if it was called Metal Gear Solid, then I would be a little upset behind it. But
truth be told, when I heard who was handling the development on this game, I knew what type of game it was going to be. Platinum Games makes action games. Platinum doesn't make stealth games. Platinum doesn't make RPGs. The closest thing to an RPG that anyone on the staff of Platinum Games ever made was Okami. And Okami wasn't a stealth game. It wasn't an RPG or a stealth game.
Okami was a really good game.
Okami was damn impressive.
Yes, it was.
Okami was probably one of my 5 favorite games of that console generation.
I would agree.
But Metal Gear Rising was an action game. It was a straight action game. You played as Raiden, who is a ninja. He's a ninja. If you watch the cutscenes from Metal Gear Solid 4, you see Raiden cutting limbs off of enemies. And, running roughshod over any enemy that crossed his path. So you knew what you were going to get from Metal Gear Rising.
But also you could look at it as well. Looking at the trailers, you saw Raiden fighting a Metal Gear Raid, and it was just in the middle of a street. And we all know Metal Gear games. Each game has a new Metal Gear. They're not gonna recycle Metal Gear Raid and make Metal Gear Raid the final boss of the game. We all know that. Mm-hmm. And I also go with Platinum Games. You can look at the style of the game, the music and all that. Everything points to just action off the wall, knock your socks off. You sit back, you strap your boot seats in, and you just play. And you just see what happens.
Look at Platinum's last few games. Bayonetta, Mad World, Anarchy Reigns, Vanquish. Those are really fast-paced, really violent action games.
I need to get a copy of Vanquish. Audience, if anybody knows a copy of Vanquish, I would take one.
2 copies of Vanquish
on the low.
We need 2 copies of Vanquish.
Christmas just passed.
We need 2 copies of Vanquish for the Home for Wayward video games. Thanks.
Yes. Well, there's a couple of games I'm looking at right now that I'm not sure if either one has played, but there's one game I know you and I both played and we both have high reviews for. And this game here stars a very powerful female protagonist. You know where I'm going with this.
I know
Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider. Oh my God.
Tomb Raider was amazing.
Was honestly, Tomb Raider was my game of the year for 2013.
And once again, Tomb Raider was another reboot. Just like DMC, it was another reboot on the Lara Croft series. And
Crystal Dynamics did a fantastic job with their baby.
And not to mention that is the fact that if you remember when they released the initial trailer for it, was it not?
It was
this year's E3. It was E3 2011.
2011, yeah.
2011. They had a lot of flack about the way
Laura was portrayed.
Exactly, and they listened to the feedback from the gamers, especially the female gamers, which.
It's important because you guys kind of get left in the shuffle a lot.
And also, don't forget, women are gamers just as much as men are.
Women are buying 48% of all game purchases are female gamers.
And not to mention, a lot of the women I know that play video games are better than I am and better than most of the men I know.
Yeah.
So next time any viewer has anything to say about a woman gamer, the next person that kills you on Call of Duty might be a woman. Remember that.
Yeah.
But Tomb Raider, excellent,
exceptional video game.
Excellent.
It takes a little bit of that classic, that Tomb Raider 1 or 2 charm, where Laurel's making snarky comments and stuff like that. Combines that with a little Uncharted.
Yes.
Combines that with a little bit of Metal Gear Solid 3. And combines that with a little bit of combines it with a little bit of Hitman, another one of the titles published by Square Enix in the last few years. So yeah, Tomb Raider is a fantastic title, and honestly one of my favorites to come out this year.
I would agree with this gentleman about Tomb Raider. When I put it as my game of the year, I would not. Would I put it in my game of the year discussion? Damn sure I would. I mean, Lara Croft did her thing all the time. I played the game on I just started playing the game recently when I got my game back from a certain fellow that was enjoying the likes of their game, and one of the things I could really appreciate was the character progression. A lot of these games, you meet these characters and there's no progression, seeing them from where they started and where they finished. When you look at the game, you're like, man, Lara came a long way. She was scared to kill people, and then when she finally did, she felt remorseful about it. But then as the game went on, she was like, well,
it's something that has to be done.
I have to do this to survive. It's either me or them, and I can respect that. But we're moving on. Let's see what else we got going on. I didn't play that game. Okay. Gears of War Judgment.
I didn't get a chance to play it. So
I played Gears of War Judgment. Same company. I mean, it was the same company. Help me. Epic Game made it. But this time it was without Cliff Bleszinski, heading the development. I think he headed the development of 1, 2, and 3. This time he took a step back and let the other people of the company take care of this game. It was a good game. I wouldn't put it as a great game. I'll put it as a good game. I mean, it's a Gears of War game. You get what you get. You basically left the role of Marcus Phoenix and you moved to the role of Dom and Cold Train.
I thought you played as Baird.
I mean Baird. What I say?
You said Dom and Cold Train.
I'm sorry. Baird and Cold Train. I apologize. Forgive me. Good job.
Fanboys, don't come after us.
Please don't. You don't want that.
This ain't what you want.
But you take over as Baird and you take over as Cold Train when they were younger, before all of this happened. There's even, if I'm not mistaken, there's even a part after you play through the game, you unlock a new mode where from Gears of War 3, you basically relive Gears of War 3, but from their perspective.
When they split up.
Yeah.
That portion of the game where they aren't around.
And the only flack I've heard from this game was the fact that there was a female included into the squad. Because you had to deal with Baird, Cold Train, I forgot the young lady's name, and Lord, it's been so long. It's so with a P. It's Pardis,
That tells you how forgettable this game is.
I mean, it's a game like this. If you find a game for $10 or less, pick it up. For $20, you can still pick it up. If you
if you pay more than $20 for this game, you tripping, B.
Nah, if you big multiplayer, $20 would be okay. If you a big multiplayer fan.
If you pay more than $20 though.
If you paid more than $20, if you paid more than $20, I mean, they got a house over here for a couple mil. You can buy that for me.
Son, Christmas. I got a bridge over Lincoln Paris, Louisiana that you can buy.
Ooh, no.
Yeah, bro.
Lloyd. Well, moving on. Let's see what else we got. Did you have a chance to... Well, no, this ain't come out this year. Never mind. Well, I know you didn't play Resident Evil 6.
Nah, I didn't touch Resident Evil 6.
All right, let's go.
However, I know a few people who have played Resident Evil 6, and from what I've heard from them, Resident Evil 6 is good, except for the Chris Redfield campaign.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so, I mean, you can pick up Resident Evil 6 for between $10 and $20 now. So I wouldn't say that it's not a bad pickup between $10 and $20. Just be wary that the Chris Redfield campaign feels like a bad Gears of War ripoff. If it feels like that for you, you've been warned. You have been warned. Just to let you know.
All right, I see another game here. I know you have had at least a couple minutes to put your hands on. Injustice. They came out last year?
Did Justice come out earlier this year?
Let's find out. Hey, all this is on the fly. Yep.
Injustice was cool.
April 16th, 2013 it came out.
Injustice was cool, but Injustice made me there wasn't enough in Injustice for me. As someone who's not a hardcore member of the FGC, that's fighting game community for the uninitiated, there wasn't enough for me in Injustice to ingratiate me to the FGC. So it wasn't a big deal for me to skip over Injustice.
All right, well, next we're going to go into an arcade title. Came from a real prominent game that came out, I want to say 2012, from a Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, which came out this year on Xbox Live.
Oh, you played Blood Dragon.
I played Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. All I can say is 80s awesomeness. If you're a fan of 80s action games and
80s action movies.
That too. I'm sorry, 80s action movies. And you played the Far Cry 3 series, you take the engine of Far Cry 3 and put it into this 80s look to it. You know, characters, of course, big random name you can put, whatever big name you can put there, like, Mr. Big Guns. As to that, some guy that's just
sounds like a stripper.
Sounds like, but whatever game, whatever 80s star that you idolize, that was some big dude. Like, was it Snake Plissken from Escape from New York or L.A.? Mad Max. Rambo.
Mad Max.
All of them guys that can do anything and always have them awesome one-liners. Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon is the game you need to play. And I played it, enjoyed it tremendously. It's not at the time I bought it, at the time I got it, it was 1,200 Microsoft points. And as of now, I'm not sure what the rate of transfer. I want to say about $15.
Yeah, that's about $15.
I think it's $15.
That's $15.
So, I mean, I was one game I said, if you're on a budget, I mean, is it long? No. Roughly, I think it's 5-6 hours, give or take, but it's just dang.
Put it like this: you pay a lot more for the same 5 or 6 hours of single player in Call of Duty.
Yeah. So
if you're going, I watched Lou play Blood Dragon and it looks like a blast. I never heard him complain about the controls. Matter of fact, the only noises I heard from him were laughs whenever his character let out a one-liner or one of the enemies did something silly. It's 80s awesome. Kind of like Hobo with a Shotgun.
You know what? As I'm looking through here, I see another game that might be on our...
Wait, I thought that came out last year.
What, Blood Dragon?
No, this...
I just saw through, and it did.
Yeah, it came out last year. Why don't we talk about Bioshock Infinite now?
Bioshock Infinite was...
That was what, February, March?
I overlooked it?
I want to say that was like between March and April, something like that.
But yeah, I know Bioshock came out this past year.
Yeah, it came out this year, and truth be told, as far as a single player experience, Bioshock Infinite was probably the best first person shooter that I've played in a while. The story progression was really good. I enjoyed the characters. My only gripe was that I wish that Daisy Fitzroy was a bigger part of the story. I wish that the DLC that they introduced included Daisy Fitzroy, but other than that, Bioshock Infinite was fantastic. It's phenomenal, and now that it's a dirt cheap title, I think that people should pick it up.
I mean, I completely agree, but the biggest gripe that this young man and myself had was the fact that a lot of the hype that the game got initially, it
did not deserve that hype.
Nah, the game was a good game, but the way they made the game feel, it was the game of the year. Now, granted, the views that we discuss are our own views.
Mm-hmm.
If you was watching this video, believe that Bioshock Infinite was the game of the year, you have the right to your own opinion. We felt that it was a damn good game, but not game of the year.
Mm-mm.
Was it worth the $60 price tag? I don't know. I mean, it all depends. I mean, I played through it into the game, and I was like, all right. I mean, it doesn't come with multiplayer. You have to wait for DLC. The initial DLC was almost like a...
Bioshock 2 remix or something.
Nah, the initial DLC was kind of like a battle arena almost like a horde modes type. Yikes. Like, granted, I could be looking at it wrong. I'm just going off what I've seen from reviews and other people's comments. But then after that was the next DLC that actually was a real game,
Yeah.
But really good first-person shooter.
Mm-hmm.
All right, moving on. Let's see what else I'm looking at. No, we ain't play Slender.
I was not about to play Slender. Slender was not about to keep me up.
Did you play Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge?
I did not. I haven't even played Ninja Gaiden 3.
Game made me scared.
I will say this though. I am looking forward to Yaiba Ninja Gaiden.
Yes.
The Ninja Gaiden game that has the more cel-shaded aesthetic. That recently there was a trailer that came out that kind of played off of the appeal of the original arcade Ninja Gaiden that was a beat 'em up from the 80s.
Oh, I see a game that came out this year that I'm a fan of. This young man has not had the chance to bask in the great glory of this game.
Which game?
State of Decay.
I heard great things.
State of Decay, a survival zombie game. Every word I said is to that sense. If you watch the Walking Dead show, now man, I'm not trying. Everybody will say, "Oh, there's a Walking Dead video game that came out." No. If you watch the Walking Dead show and you watch how they survive throughout that show, State of Decay is that show. You basically you start off as a guy, Marcus, and you move, from I can't call them civilizations. I call them scavenger areas. You initially meet a couple people, and then you move to another area, but you have to keep going out gathering food, materials, different supplies in order to keep your base afloat. I mean, and while you're going out there, I mean, you have zombies, you have different type of special effects you have to deal with. It gives the sense. I mean, time goes day to night, so on and so forth. It's just I mean, do they have some bugs? They have a couple bugs here and there, but it's a really good survival zombie game. It gives you that feel like because as your supplies dwindle, the morale of your camp goes down slowly. And if you don't have enough beds to sleep in, morale goes down. I mean, stuff that would happen in a normal zombie apocalypse happens in State of Decay. I would suggest anybody who's not played it, give it a try. Give it a try. Moving on.
We are like May now.
I'm looking at this game now. Now, granted, our source is a little, but Max Payne 3.
Oh, Max Payne 3 came out last year. That came out last year.
God damn it!
They played you, bro.
Hey. One of the things I'm seeing Max Payne 3, and I'm seeing like iOS or some crap next to it.
Oh, that's why.
So I'm trying to make sure that I'm not.
That's why it came out on iPad or whatever this year.
Because I was about to talk about the other game we talk about the game that you have talked so highly about. Remember Me.
Remember Me is, if gameplay wise, it's a beat 'em up with some platforming elements. It'll remind you a little bit of as far as the fluidity of the combat to Prince of Persia or
Batman
or Arkham or the Arkham games, Arkham City or Arkham Asylum. But the platforming will definitely remind you of the older Prince of Persia games from the previous console generation, like Sands of Time and things like that. It's a fast-paced platformer with some time manipulation elements in there. The only issue that I've ever had with Remember Me is that the memory remix segments, there weren't more of them. Because there were only a precious handful of them, you kind of feel like you got skimped. Like you didn't get enough of that. You didn't get enough for your money with that game. So you kind of, you feel like you might have got, for lack of a better word, you got played. But Remember Me is a fantastic title, and while some reviewers don't give it its just due, I will tell you from the perspective of a person who actually paid for the title, because, that's something that we can honestly say that we actually pay for what we play.
Yes.
Remember Me was a fantastic. It was worth every penny that I paid for it.
And I'm going to pick it up soon. Next game I'm looking on this list, The Last of Us. You watch me play.
I watched you play because I don't have a PlayStation 3.
You watch me play the game. Last of Us, another good title. That would be my game of the year.
Now, where would you rank it with Naughty Dog's other PS3 titles?
You talking about as far as
the Uncharted series?
I can't rate them together because they're different styles of games. Uncharted was more platforming and combat, whereas Last of Us is more
horror/shooter.
It's a horror/shooter. I mean, there are some survival elements because of the fact that you get weapons, but bullets are scarce.
Mm-hmm.
Bullets are scarce. You have to know when to shoot, when not to shoot, literally. Last of Us tells a good story. Now, have I had a chance to end Last of Us? I have not. But I have not ended the game, but I've heard a lot of people gripe about the end of the game, which hopefully one day I can get to the end of the game. I mean, but I want to play it for myself because, a lot of people gripe about the Mass Effect 3 ending. I had a problem with it. But there are some people that are just a little bit more passionate than I am, maybe. Mm-hmm. But Last of Us, another really good title. One of my top titles. I actually put that over Tomb Raider. Now, he believed, he felt that Tomb Raider was the game of the year. I believe Last of Us the game of the year. Now, hold my judgment until I end the game, because ending plays a good part when it comes to video games.
It really does.
Moving on, another game that I'm looking at. Let's see. I just saw it. Deadpool.
Did you play Deadpool?
I played Deadpool.
I heard Deadpool was wacky as hell. It was kind of shallow gameplay wise.
Deadpool was Deadpool. Deadpool You do what Deadpool does. You stab and shoot people.
Shoot people, and talk trash about them.
And the cutscenes were wacky as hell. For a $60 title, I mean, granted, the game came out $10 cheaper than it came out $10 cheaper. It released $10 cheaper than everything else. So it came out as a $49 title. I still believe that that price is a little too high for what you get. I mean, the enemies are repetitive. You know, it's the same style. The camera gives you trouble. I mean, most third-person action games give you trouble with the camera.
We've been dealing with that since 2000. I need developers to get that together.
But I will buy this game for one reason and one reason only. Just because they got Deadpool correct. Not that horrible X-Men Origins Deadpool that didn't talk. No. He runs his mouth
non-stop.
All the time. When this game becomes $20, $10, I will pick it up without a second hesitation. Because I was that high on that game. Because of Deadpool. Nobody else. Just because you actually got Nolan North to play the voice of Deadpool, and during the game, Deadpool makes jokes of Nolan North doing his voice,
and the fact that he's trolling Wolverine for half of the game.
I mean, I would play it for the comedy aspect more than anything else. Anything else. Let's see what else do we have next on here. I'm looking at July, September now. I have not played that game yet. That Monaco game.
Monaco, I haven't played that. Heard great things, so I may be picking it up real soon.
I might be as well. It's not really a new game that came out. It's a collection I want. The Metal Gear Solid, the Legacy Collection. I really want to pick that game up.
That's
Metal Gear 1,
right?
2, Metal Gear 1 and 2, Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Okay, so it's the 4 console Metal Gears.
And the first 2, I think, are on there as well. The 2 on NES.
On NES?
I think.
The MXS and NES?
Don't quote me on it, but I mean, we'll find out about that and we'll get back to everybody.
Yeah, but I mean, hell, you can't go wrong with the Metal Gear titles. Long cut scenes, but Hideo Kojima knows what he's doing.
Metal Gear Solid 4 irked my nerves because of the long cutscene. At the end of the game, if I'm not mistaken, now granted, I can say spoiler warnings, but I mean the game down for God knows how long. At the end of the game, is an hour and a half cutscene. I think. I want to put it. I know it's at least an hour.
It burns.
But you can't fast forward through it. You have to just.
You gotta take it. You gotta
bang.
Take that.
NCAA 14.
The last NCAA title. Last NCAA football title. Boys and girls, Electronic Arts got sued. There will not be enough. If you can find NCAA 14, pick it up because it's the last one for a while.
Oh Lord, is it? Come on, if you got something to tell me, because
DuckTales.
I can see one game right now. I think you played. It's an Xbox Live arcade game. It came out during the summer of arcade. Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons.
A Tale of Two Sons. You know what? The Tale of Two Sons grew on me because there was this unique aspect that kind of brought me back to the Lost Vikings, where you had to use different characters to do different things. And that was one of the things about Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons that kind of impressed me. Now I haven't finished the game, but fantastic title so far, and I recommend it. Actually, it's a really good, really well crafted video game. Like I said, it will definitely. Any gamers that are from the 16-bit era will remember stuff like Lost Vikings. They'll remember stuff like they'll remember like some of the older the 16-bit X-Men titles that Sega published, stuff like that. They'll remember those titles and how you had to use different characters to do different things, and that's definitely something that happens in Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, because you have to enable both characters to do to perform tasks together, and that's definitely an important thing, an important gameplay aspect of this title. So You should definitely check it out if that intrigues you at all.
All right, well, moving on. The floor is yours. DuckTales.
I promise you, Way Forward makes the best platformers ever. Way Forward took a 1989 NES title, right? They took this title from 1989. They got the original. Disney got them the original voice actors for this title. Matter of fact, you can go a couple posts back and read and watch the video review that's on 8bitanimal.com right now. They got the original voice actors from the cartoon. They put this beautiful gloss on everything in the original 8-bit title. It plays frame for frame like the original NES title, but it sounds incredible. It looks like an episode of DuckTales. It controls flawlessly. DuckTales. If it wasn't for Tomb Raider, DuckTales would be my game of the year. I know you're looking at me like I'm crazy, but
no, hey, why you think I said the floor is yours and I let you go?
DuckTales was so good that when it came out as a DLC title and I found out that they were going to release a physical disc, I waited until the physical disc came out and bought the physical disc for $20.
I know.
It's a fantastic game. You guys should definitely pay the $15 or the $20 to get it. It's on everything. It's on Xbox 360. It's on PSN. It's on Wii U. It's on PSN, PS3, XBLA, Nintendo eShop, and it's on Steam. You should definitely get it if you haven't already. It's an amazing title.
Good.
Continue.
Okay. All right. Next game I'm looking at. One of my favorites. This gentleman, on the other hand, I think he might disagree with me. Saints Row 4.
I actually like Saints Row 4 if it wasn't for the fact that it was so buggy. It froze so much. Every time I played it, it froze.
Hey, I told you the same thing. I told you the same thing. I'm going to say it again. You call the game buggy because it froze for you.
It didn't freeze for you.
It froze on occasion, but that was after lengthy gameplay sessions. And I'm not sure that was game-wise or Xbox-wise.
Yeah.
Yes. Never had a problem with that. But I understand you're right.
Once I got it going, though, it was amazing. I enjoyed it.
You know what?
It was a lot of fun.
All I can say is, Keith David. I'm good.
Keith David.
Keith David.
Keith David. He ain't no Pokey Woodbine, but Keith David.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, now watching this blog, if you want to buy this game for you or your youngins,
don't buy it for your youngins.
I would suggest you be careful. Let you know that Saints Row 4 is a little vulgar, really vulgar, but it's an overall fun game. I mean, now did they reinvent the wheel when it came out the game? No, they did not, because they based. I mean, it looks off like it came off the Saints Row 3 engine, the same engine that they played their game off of. But it's just a different story. I mean, it's over the top. I mean, you remember how we talked about Platinum Games and their over the top games? Saints Row 4, completely over the top.
Completely.
Alien invasion, President of the United States.
Spoiler alert! They blew up the planet.
Blow stuff up. That's all you do. So I would say if you get a chance, pick it up. If it's within the price range, I would say for Saints Row 4, I'll say 25. I'll say 30 at most.
At most, $29.99.
Yeah, if you get past 30, I'll probably say still get it. It's been almost a year now. Price cut should be coming in.
It hasn't been that long. It came out a few weeks before GTA 5.
And it's still close enough to get it. Like, granted, Saints Row is not gonna have that longevity as far as price time.
Yeah, it's because it dropped like a rock in price when
the
Juggernaut came out. It dropped like a price.
It dropped in sales as well as when the GTA came out. I was one of the games that bought Saints Row to kind of tie me over until GTA came out. But hey, it did what it had to do. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Did you get a chance to play Flashback? I know you played it before.
I love the remake of Flashback. Actually,
I know I played it on Sega. I played the
original.
Played the original game. I played the Xbox Live. I played the demo. Got bored.
Quick. Well, you know,
not the same thing, but
yeah. And you know the thing about Flashback was, it's one of those games where if you like the original, you didn't like the original.
No.
What are you making a face for?
So something came out.
What came out?
Oh, just let y'all know. I don't know if y'all knew. Came out on the Droid. It said Droid on here. But look at that Wikipedia, so y'all know there's a lot of stuff. It's kind of He-Man, the most powerful game.
I'm gonna flip this N64.
But continue about Flashback. I'm sorry.
Flashback was extra cool because it actually in the same vein as in the same way that Way Forward handled DuckTales. Ubisoft handled this remake of Flashback, handled this remake of Delphine's Flashback, and it was essentially frame for frame a remake of the original game. Now I've played the Genesis version. I haven't had a chance to play the Sega CD version, which for a lot of gamers was the definitive Sega CD version and Amiga versions were the definitive versions of that game. I haven't played either one of those, but this version that just came out over the summer you can unlock the original game. So you'll essentially be playing the definitive version of the original game once you play through the game to a certain point. And let me tell you, Flashback, if you have any fond memories of Another World or Out of This World or Flashback, you'll thoroughly enjoy this game because it's a phenomenal video game. Also, Heart of the Alien. I forgot to mention Heart of the Alien in there somehow. But those three games, if you play any of those three games, you'll totally enjoy Flashback because this remake of Flashback was very well done. And kudos to Ubisoft for publishing such an ambitious title.
All right. Well, next thing I'm looking on here is another game that you played. I have not had a chance to play yet. Killer is Dead.
Well, I mean, you know, it's kind of unfair for me to talk about Killer is Dead because admittedly, I stand a bit for Grasshopper Manufacture's titles, especially the stuff that's been released in America, like the No More Heroes series. Those were probably the two of the best action games for the Nintendo Wii. If you have a PS3, you can also pick up No More Heroes on PlayStation 3. Lollipop Chainsaw was an amazing title for the Xbox 360 and PS3. Shadows of the Damned was an amazing title. Black Knight Sword was awesome. Sine Mora was awesome. So, you know, it's like Killer is Dead. Actually, it was natural that someone like me who's a fan of that developer pick it up. And after playing Killer 7 and playing No More Heroes, it was almost a natural progression that I pick up Killer is Dead because it it kind of exists in the same universe as Killer 7 and the No More Heroes games. So, yeah, man, Killer 7, pure action game. If you pick it up, honestly,
Killer is Dead.
I mean, Killer is Dead. Yeah,
okay. I'm like,
you know what? Y'all know what I meant. Killer is Dead.
If you
pick it up, if you pick up Killer is Dead, if you buy it new, it'll come with the soundtrack, some DLC, some costume DLC, art book, and the game in a really nice package. So it's a really good pickup for, you know, the price of a standard game. And right now, I want to say that it's dropped down to about $40. So you should definitely pick up Killer is Dead if you like your action games. If you like your action games a little offbeat and a lot bloody.
Well, the next 3 games are games that I've played. Well, next 2 games are games I played, but one of them I put them into 2 different categories. Mm-hmm. You know I'm going with one of them. Mm-hmm. One is the Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto 5 came out, but it was broke up into 2 different segments. You had the Grand Theft Auto 5 game, and then you had Grand Theft Auto Online. Mm-hmm. Grand Theft Auto 5, amazing game. I mean, open world title, just like all the Grand Theft Auto, all the Grand Theft Autos, open world title. But a lot of stuff that a lot of people griped about 4, they corrected. You know, you play it as 3 separate characters, all living their own life, and a lot of people were wondering how that would coexist perfectly. Like literally, if you leave one character and go to another character, it basically, whatever this character is doing at the time, you basically start from there. And the character you're playing as, we're playing as, goes off and does their own thing when they're not in missions. You know, so you had Michael, Lamar, and Trevor. You know, all from 3 different walks of life. Michael was your little scummy robber guy that stole a lot of people. Lamar was a little hood. And a little hood that wanted to make a come up, and you had Trevor, a meth dealer, little redneck meth dealer. But you know, it worked very well. When you move to Grand Theft Auto Online, you know, an awesome product as well. I mean, interaction with everybody is always fun, especially on an online community. Only gripe was all of the glitches. There were, you know, initially there were a ton of glitches that came out when the game was when online was initially released. A ton of glitches. Now,
Rockstar, I'm looking at you.
Now, this gentleman right here is looking into the camera. You know, a lot of times when you come to a game of this magnitude, as far as the online community, it's gonna have glitches. So, what, 1 billion in a weekend? 1 billion copies in a weekend.
They sold $1 billion worth, not $1 billion.
All right, $1 billion worth. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and just rain on the parade.
No, I'm not.
Let me say a bit. Lord. Anyway, they sold $1 billion worth, which is a lot of games.
That's a lot of video games.
And that's not a company I can think of that had that many people that bought games that when they initially opened their online, they didn't have problems. Now, Rockstar, you know, took the brunt of that force head on, you know, owned up to everything. But now, end of the year, I'm still playing the game, still seeing glitches. Magically, now Rockstar, I will say this now, if anybody seen it from Rockstar, I didn't do anything. Magically, I got $100 million transferred to my Grand Theft Auto account. Don't know where it came from. I went to the shower, came back, and I had the money in my cash spot, not my bank spot, my cash spot. Don't know how it happened. But you still think that by now the glitches will be fixed. But I still believe I would say Grand Theft Auto, if you pick it up for $6, it's still worth the money for as much as you get for that price.
For the single player alone. I've heard incredible things about the single player.
I think I put in about 30 hours combined between the 3 characters on single player alone. And I probably put in another, so far, 100 plus hours in the multiplayer. And 130 hours for $60? Do the math. Tell me
that's pretty good math right there.
Now, the next game I'm looking at after that was where did you go? Beyond Two Souls.
How'd you like it?
Now, I didn't buy the game, I rented the game. I rented it for a weekend. Beyond Two Souls is phenomenal. Phenomenal.
You said it.
I said it. If you played Heavy Rain, it's basically I can't remember the name off the top of my head. The company
Quantum Dream.
Quantum Dreams made Beyond Two Souls. You have Ellen Page in it. Her likeness in it.
But she voiced the character.
Yeah, you have Willem Dafoe. Everybody loves Willem Dafoe. If you don't know who Willem Dafoe is, watch the first Spider-Man.
Watch Boondock Saints.
Exactly. You will find out who Willem Dafoe is. Great actor. But Beyond, I played. I'm gonna say I probably put an hour and a half into Beyond Two Souls, and I was thoroughly impressed. You know, there's an app you can buy for your phone, for your tablet that interacts with the television. If it's a 2-player, you know, you can choose whether you play the game using a control or your tablet. If you have a second player playing, they can choose whether they want to use the tablet or the controller, vice versa. But it gives a good interaction with both characters. I mean, you play as I forgot the young lady's name the actual character's name, and she has basically like a demonic spirit that is guarding her body. I don't know if it's guarding or if it was a curse on her, but basically she sends the demonic spirit to do things for her, or you know, scare people for her, and it's just a great interaction. She's always talking to this spirit. You never hear the spirit. Well, as far as I played, you never hear the spirit talk back, but you always hear her respond like the character is spoken back to him. For instance, like if I was to tell you, "Hey guys, how are you doing today?" And you guys, granted y'all in internet world, and y'all say I'm doing well, and I continue on the conversation.
We doing alright.
Yeah, but Beyond Two Souls, phenomenal game. I would say pick it up if you're a fan of Heavy Rain. Pick this game up. You might be in for a treat.
It's 8:30 in the morning and we eating cheese grits.
Man, what about Just Dance 2014? You played that?
Man, I'm about to hit you with this.
Alright, but keep on going. What about Pokemon X and Y?
I haven't played it, but I've heard really good things about Pokemon.
I want to get 3 years just to play Pokemon. I was trying to play Pokemon earlier.
I'm planning on getting a Wii U.
I think I'm gonna get one too.
I'm planning on getting a Wii U because Super Mario 3D World.
Yes.
I've heard 3D World is incredible.
You can talk about that.
I've heard that Rayman Legends is incredible.
Oh my god.
I've heard really good things about Wonderful 101, Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD, Pikmin 3. I just don't have a Wii U yet.
Yeah.
So when I can afford to get a Wii U, then I will get a Wii U. Hi, Nintendo. Hey, Reggie. Hi, Reggie. Hi, Mr. Iwata.
Hey, we'll be more than happy to take a couple Wii U's off your
hands. We will. Yo, give us consoles. Give us consoles.
I'll take a Wii U.
I'll take a Wii U. I will gladly.
I want a Wii U. Can I get a 3DS too?
I'll take a 2DS. I don't need the 3D functionality.
I mean, hey, you give me 2DS, I'll be happy with that. I want to play with some Pokemon X and Y.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm a broke brother trying to make it.
Exactly. But I've heard really good things from people that I know who own Wii U consoles and 3DSs and 2DSs. I've heard really good stuff about pretty much everything that Nintendo's putting out. I'm constantly hearing from the mainstream gamer media how Nintendo is dying, how the Wii U is a flop, and all this, that, and the other.
Didn't Nintendo have a press conference, last week or week before? And they announced a bunch of games coming out?
They've been announcing games, and there's a steady stream of games coming out. Because the thing about Nintendo is they can't count on third parties anymore. So they take care of home.
You know what?
So with Mario, with Wind Waker HD, there's going to be a new Zelda coming out. Rumors floating around that there has been that a trademark has been renewed for the name Metroid Prime. Stuff like that. So Nintendo ain't going nowhere anytime soon. They have done better financially than Sony and Microsoft have done in their game divisions.
Well, you know what? While we're talking about the Wii U, I will say this. I mean, I haven't been a huge fan of Nintendo, but I've been intrigued in buying me a Wii U. I'm looking at the console, looking at the pad. I want to buy me a Wii U, but I can understand where third-party developers are not.
They're nervous about it.
Well, it's not.
It doesn't have the quote-unquote horsepower that the PS4 and
that's
Xbox
what
have.
they look at. I mean, maybe a lot of people are scared. Think about it. Remember the Wii U released a Madden title the same year, the regular Madden title. So, and they sold, I think, from what I've heard, it's rumor, but what I heard is an estimate, 78,000 copies.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. Who's buying a Nintendo console for Madden?
But the thing is, I say with that is the fact that if the Wii U's, and granted, when I say this, I'm not a fanboy. I'm just saying
their install base at that point, it was a launch title. Their install base was really.
I'm also looking at
light.
The graphics as well. I mean, a lot of people nowadays people are looking at when they think about these new consoles,
they want that new hotness. They want what's pretty.
You know, if Master Chief got a booger come out of his nose, they want to see it. Mm-hmm. They don't want to see just some green pixelated thing. No, they want to see a booger.
I understand that.
That's what they're looking at. But let's go ahead and move on. We good. A couple games that came out that are yearly titles. Your Battlefield 4, Call of Duty Ghosts.
I've heard people like Battlefield a lot more than they like Call of Duty this year.
I look at it as
it's mad with guns.
You see it every year. I also look at the same when I look at WWE 2K14. You see it every year.
Every year.
Until there's something revolutionary, we can't be excited. Now we're not knocking it. We just can't be excited about it.
Nah, not at all. More. Honestly, the most excited I've been about a wrestling title in a while was when there was the rumors that there was going to be a remake of WrestleFest popping up on Xbox Live Arcade. That never happened, and subsequently THQ went out of business, so we never got that game. So I'm a little disappointed by that happening. Now,
ladies and gentlemen, we also cannot talk about next gen consoles because neither one of us had a chance to.
We don't have those. I will say this though, I really hope that the console fail rates that I've been, the console failures I've been hearing about, as far as the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. I hope those are isolated because I hate to hear about people paying their hard-earned money for game consoles and they're busted. They get them busted out of the box. So I'm hoping that's not the case. But if this is a part of a larger problem, I need Sony and Microsoft to get it together.
But somebody made a good point. I mean, they're wondering if us as consumers now, with consoles and with games, are okay with a game coming out before it's completely finished. Because
I've been saying that for a long time.
Yeah, you've been saying that, and we can all say that. Think about it. Any game that comes out and you have to release patches after patches after patches means your game is not finished.
That game wasn't done.
Are either one of us game developers? No, we're not. We're consumers. We both play video games, and we only call it how we see it.
We had this problem with this.
Don't blow in your cartridge.
Don't blow in your cartridges. Get some 409, not the kind with the bleach, but some regular 409 in a cotton swab.
Well, I mean, we've been running for a while now. Do you want to go into what we're looking for to next year, or do you want to hold off?
We can save that for another video.
We'll save that for another. We'll do that.
But this hasn't been a bad year for gaming. With the new consoles coming out, 2 new consoles coming out within weeks of each other. The fact that you can go to your local your local dollar store or Toys R Us and buy a Sega Genesis, stuff like that. This has been a good year for gaming, so I can't complain all that much, and I'm not going to complain.
I will say one thing. This gentleman has done it a lot. I haven't been on the blog as much as I should be, But I want to say thank you. Thank you to everybody.
Thank you so much.
2013 might have been...
2013 admittedly was kind of light for us, but 2014, you guys might get sick of us because you're going to see a lot more of these two smiling faces.
We're going to make sure. We're going to make sure you see our faces.
All the time. You, like I said, you might get tired of us.
And if you get tired of us, that means you did a good thing.
Exactly. That means that you saw us a lot.
But I can say one thing. Hey, I mean, let us know if there's anything y'all want us to talk about.
Exactly. If you want to talk, if you want us to talk about something, let us know. If you want to hear us, whether it's something retro, if it's something new, if it's something, just talk to us. Shoot us comments. Blow us up. If there's something you want to hear us talk about, let us know. And if it's something that we don't have and you have, we'll open up lines of communications. You might be able to guest on the blog. You never know. So just let us know what you want to hear from us.
2014 is going to be an amazing year.
It's going to be a great year for us. And, thank you for supporting us for the last 4 years. We sincerely appreciate it. Yeah, 4 years.
We get old, man.
Started this in 2009, man.
Started from the bottom, now we're here.
Stop it. As always, though, thank you for supporting. Thank you for supporting the blog. We got some big stuff coming in 2014. Thank you for an amazing 2013. This is Danae, Ben Animal, as always, and Lou.
I don't have a name yet. I don't have a good name yet, but I'm gonna find one. 2014, I'm gonna find me a good name besides Lou. And some of y'all know me as that dude over there. I'm gonna find me a better name.
We'll catch you beautiful people next time.
Happy New Year.